you know that a flea can jump 150 times its own body size? Did you know you can also train fleas? Can I borrow your glass here?
Sure. I don't want any fleas.
No fleas. This is for example purposes only. You could put a flea inside of a jar and put a lid on top of the jar. And the flea is going to jump up for about 20 minutes and hit the top of the jar again and again and again. And after about 20 minutes, the flea gets tired of bumping his head. So he starts jumping about a quarter inch below the lid. And at that point, you can take the lid off. And the flea has the ability to jump out of the jar. It has the strength and everything else. But it's been conditioned to think that it can't. And the flea will never jump out of the jar. It'll actually die in the jar. People are the same way. We let other people tell us what we cannot do. We tell ourselves what we cannot do. And we put a lid on ourselves. Roger Bannister was the first man to run a sub 4-minute mile. Back in 1954, everybody said that it could not be done. Doctors would tell everybody that the human body would not withstand the stress. They even told him that the heart would explode inside of you running that fast. Roger had a couple things going for him. Number one, he didn't believe all the hype. He believed that he could do it, and he proved that he could do it. And number two, he was willing to mix things up a little bit, try some different things. The definition of insanity, I think Einstein said it best, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And as Roger was training and doing his regimen, it was the same thing that everybody else was doing, but he was getting the same results. And up to that point, his fastest mile was 4 minutes and 3 seconds. So he was 3 seconds off. When he enlisted a couple of running mates to help him, he created a team so he could reach his goal. So on the faithful race that he broke the record, he had 2 running mates. And his first running mate led Roger and paced him to make sure he wouldn't go too fast or wouldn't go too slow. And after 2 laps, the first running mate dropped off. And the second running mate paced Roger for the 3rd lap. And after the 3rd lap, the second running mate dropped off. And the 4th lap, it was all Roger. He came in at 3 minutes, 59.6 seconds. Barely. My question is this a mental thing or is it a physical thing? And I'm going to say it's a mental thing. Because 2 weeks after Roger broke the record, another runner broke it at 3 minutes and 58 seconds. And 2 weeks after that, Roger was able to run it in 3 minutes and 55 seconds. So once Roger proved that it could be done, people started doing it. And I think right now the fastest mile that anybody's ever ran is 3 minutes and 43 seconds. It's pretty fast. I'm not much of a runner. I'm more of a rumbler. But which leads me to my next story. This is my 10th speech in Toastmasters. And 2.5 years ago, when I gave my icebreaker, it was my TGIF. The start of my TGIF journey. But it's not where my journey really began with my speaking. When I was 3 or 4 years old, I had hearing loss, and I had to have tubes put in my ears multiple times over the next 2 or 3 years, which led me not to be confident in my speaking ability because I could not hear myself pronunciate words, so I never knew if I was saying them right or wrong, which led me to start to stutter. And in grade school, when I'd be picked on to read aloud in class, I would give Mel Tillis a run for his money. But kids would make fun of me. I'd feel embarrassed, and I never really wanted to speak in front of people again. My stuttering subsided, but my fear of speaking in front of people did not. And about 5 years ago, I had the feeling that I wanted to get better in speaking in public and stuff. So that's where TGI came into play. my point is, TGIF to me has been what Roger's running mates were to him. They helped him get to that next level. I'm not as good as I want to be yet, but I'm better than I was before. Which I think everybody here for. And for the new members that are starting off in this journey with their icebreakers and stuff, just remember this: whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. Thank you.